So, welcome to this, Excel and advanced Excel sessions. In this session, what all chapters we'll have, I'll just explain. See, right from basic till the advanced Excel, I'll be teaching you guys. So, in these, say, Excel to advanced Excel, whatever is there are a lot of chapters, a lot of options you guys will be learning. When I say basic, I'm not going to teach you, say, how to type or make it bold or color it. So basic means there are some, basic options, say, the options which you have to know before going to the next level of your Excel. So there are so many things which will go in flow so that you guys will be feeling very comfortable or say very easy to go from say basic to intermediate to advanced Excel. And whatever chapters we have here, we have designed such a way that everything is like once I explain, then you can also go and practice it. And I have divided this section such a way that it should be easy for any say a candidate to learn it in a simple way. The first three chapters will be about the basic things and understanding of the formattings or some basic reportings. Then we have few chapters from chapter 4 till chapter 7. So this is completely on the formula. So this will actually take a lot of time for you guys to learn because a lot of formulas, then again errors in formulas. So in depth of formulas and how to handle the formulas, how to handle the errors in the formulas, I'll be teaching you in this. And next will be again something related to aligning of your data, then filtering of your data, then how you will actually do the formatting, say number formatting or say condition formatting, wherein the condition formatting will be on your say scorecards or indicators or something like that if you want to create in a template. So that I'll be teaching. Then after that, we'll be learning about how to work on the data part. When I have a data, how will I actually clean that or say combine that and then take it to the next level of reporting. Then we'll have this charts that is completely on the visualization. So here I'll be teaching you from scratch, that is how you will be starting the chart and to the advanced level of charts where you'll be using for your reporting. It can be MIS reporting or any other business intelligence reports. Then about pivot table, here we'll be going from basic to advanced. So I'll be teaching you how to create a basic pivot table till the power pivots so that you guys will be more you'll have more information about how to handle the data for creating reports by using pivot table, right? So this is what we'll be having in this complete course. Then let me open my Excel and I tell you a few things here. The Excel what you guys will be learning or the version what I'm using for this course is MS Office 365. Okay, when I say Excel, it is actually a spreadsheet. So first, a few things I'll just explain you some technical words, and then you start using these technical words so that it will be easy and also it will be a right way of communicating with your colleagues or say with your clients or your any other friends or someone who work on these kind of reportings. When I say Office 365, this is actually a new version. Office 365 is there from very long time, but the version what we have is an updated version. And now what version we have is 2019 or 365 will be keep getting updated. But there is a confusion between a lot of people saying that what is 2019 and what is 365. See, 2019 is actually a standalone version which I can install in my desktop. But 365 is a subscription version where it will be keep getting updated as and when the Microsoft update something and they'll be keep pushing it. But when I say these versions, say 2019 or say 2016 or 2013 or 2010, it will be like one time I'll be installing, and after that, next updates I'll have to wait for the next version. So 365 is not like that. Today there is some updates, so immediately I'll get the updates and I can update it so that I'll get all the new features in my Excel what I've installed. So there are a lot of options in this that I'll be teaching you as and when we keep learning with the next chapters. Now, what you see here, first when I open a Excel, I'll get something called as welcome screen. Welcome screen will have a lot of things. And if you go to the previous versions of our Excel, say 2010 or 13, you'll not have this kind of, what is this, welcome screen. That will be totally different. So directly I'll go to this blank workbook. But out from this 2013 and above. So what has happened is they have made such a way that I'll be having some predefined templates, or say very easy to go and open the file, or sometimes what will happen, I'll be saving my data in something called as OneDrive or in some other server, so that also I can take the files. So here it has made very simple. When I say home, see, I'll have this predefined templates here. So if you want more templates, I can go and click on this. I can still have more templates. I can directly use that. But what we are actually trying to learn is to create this kind of predefined templates, whatever is there, similar kind of templates I have to create from scratch. So that is how I should actually learn. Next, what you have here is all the recent opened files. So here it will be easy for me. Just go and click on this. Then whatever frequently I'll be using the files, I can go and I can click on this and I can open it. The reason why they have given this is it will be very easy for me to open the recent open file, the frequently used files. Otherwise, what will happen? I have to go to the folder, then again I have to search for the file. So instead, what I can do here is I can just go to that particular file which I'll be frequently using. Fine. Next, we have something called as pinned. So if you go here, see, if I need some files which I'll be always opening, I can pin and I can keep it, so that when I open the file, so what will happen? It will keep moving. So instead, if I pin, say for example, I'll go here, I'll say this Excel data, I'll just pin this. Now what will happen? This one will be here. See, so this will not move. So these files are always there here. I can go and I can open this file. Next is shared with me. So these files are actually kind of a server where we call it as OneDrive, where all my files will be shared, and someone else, say some other people or say some other user has shared some files with me, then I can go here and I can use that as well. So this is one very good option in our say Excel 365. Fine. Next, this new and open. When I say new, that means I'll be creating a new file, and open. Here I'll be trying to opening the file which I've already created. Right, see, I was talking about this one, say OneDrive. Here I can save the files here, or I can also have some server of my own which I have purchased by 365. Here also I can save the file. Right, next we have this account. So this account will actually show me what kind of which version I'm using, who is the author of this, that is who is the owner of this software, and few other updates will be there. And suppose if you are getting updates, so you can go and you can see here what's new. So if you click on this, whatever the new features are there, you can check here. Right, okay. Next is the option. So these options, I'll come to this once we start our chapters. Here I have a lot of options which I can use for doing the settings of Excel. It is something related to something very similar to your factory resets in your Excel sheet, sorry, in your mobile. So we'll have the factory reset settings. So similar to that, we'll have this. Now, so what we'll do is we'll go here and we'll see how we can start my Excel from scratch. Okay, though you know few of the options, just try to understand so that you will have that proper flow till the end of this course. Okay, I'll be talking about some technical things as well, technical words, technical object names, so that you can start speaking with the technical names. Fine. Next, when I say home, I told these are all predefined templates, but my aim is to create a template, or say predefined template from scratch. I'll go here, I have this blank workbook. If I click on this, see, I'll get a blank workbook like this. This blank workbook, what I say, that is, I'll not have anything in this, just a plain page kind of thing. Here I'll have sheets, and here I'll have some layouts. So what we'll do is now we'll understand the layouts, how this say Excel is divided like this in different objects, or say different screen layouts. Once I open this, see, I have this only one sheet. I can have default, I want 3 sheets or 5 sheets or 10 sheets. That I'll tell you how to do it. But first, let's understand the screen layout. Now, the screen, what I see here, okay, first thing here, what you see, this part, the complete this part, this is called as ribbon. Ribbon means this one. So what I see, all the options are available here. The ribbon will be divided into different tabs. You can see this: home, insert, page layout, formulas. All these are called as tabs. The tabs are actually divided based on the task. Task in the sense, say for example, I'll try to insert something, anything to be inserted that will be available in this tab. Suppose if you want to work something on a formulas, if I go here, all things related to formulas will be available in this tab. Anything related to data cleaning, or say remove duplicates or sorting, anything related to data, that will be available in this tab. So there are different tabs based on the task. They have divided these tabs, and it is easy to remember as well. See home, say insert, page layout for print layouts or something. So like this, I have different tabs depending on the task. These tabs are actually default tabs, what I see here. Like this, there are two more tabs which I can see. I'll show you what are those two more tabs. This is called as default tabs. Now let me go and I'll insert one shape. Just any shape or anything here, you just insert. Let me just insert, see. I'll just insert one shape. And as soon as I insert one shape, I'll get one tab here, which was not there previously. Let me click outside. See, that format tab was there, that got hidden. Let me select again it will appear. Click outside, it will go. So these kind of tabs which appear only when it is required is called as contextual tabs. This will be hidden. This will appear only when it is required. So for example, I'll insert one chart, just a dummy chart I'll insert. See, I'll get design and format. This is actually required for this chart. Now let me select this shape. See, I'll not get the design now. I'll get only format. That means the tab required only for this shape will appear here. So these are called as contextual tabs. For every object, there will be something like this, which is called as contextual tab. They'll appear only when it is required. Right. What is the other tab? The other tab is customized tabs. I can customize. Say for example, I'll go here. I'll be using few options in insert, few options in page layout, and few options in formulas, and some options in view. So every time I have to go to this insert or say view or say formula, so it will be like a very time consuming, or say I have to keep going here and it will be confusing. Instead, the frequently used options, the commands, I can put it in one tab so that I can use that one tab for doing my operations. So how to create this customized tab? So what I'll do, I'll go here, say file, and here if you scroll down, I have this options. Click on these options, and here I'll have something called as customize ribbon. Let me click on this customize ribbon, and I'll get a window like this where all the commands, whatever you see here in all the tabs, that will be available here, the popular commands. Like this, there are so many commands. You can go here, see, I can select any of these commands. As of now, I'll just say popular command, and here I'll have all the tabs, whatever is available here. Now let's create one tab, that is customize tab. To create a tab, I'll use this new tab. I'll click on this. A new tab is created. I can rename this. I'll go here. I'll say rename. Say Excel Online. Say OK. See, fine. Now there is something called as group, which I'll tell you. The group is nothing but this one. See, I have one group here. I have one more group here. So the group is in each tab, depending on the particular task or say particular actions, I'll have different groups. So I can create some groups as well. Let me go here. I'll say rename. I'll name it as group 1. Say OK. And I can create one more group. I'll say group 2. Fine. Now I'll add some commands for this. Commands are nothing but these buttons, what you see here, the actions. Let me randomly take some buttons here. Say I'll add this email, then I'll say freeze pans, and then I'll say page setup. 3 commands I've added in group 1. Let me go to this group 2, and I'll take say set print area and say spelling, and we'll take name manager. Just random comments I've taken. Now I'll say OK. And if you see this, see Excel Online, the tab which we created, customized, that will come here. Click on this, see group 1, group 2. All the comments which I've used, that will come here in group 1, and again group 2, there will be separate comments. So this is called as customize tabs. So how to remove this? Suppose I've already created it. If you want to remove it, again I have to go to this file and say options and say advanced, sorry, custom ribbon. Then here I can select this and I can say remove. Suppose if you want to remove only one command, select this and say remove. In this, if you want to remove, I'll say remove. Suppose if you want to remove the whole group itself, select this and say remove. Now if you want to remove the whole thing here, say remove. Or you can also go here and say reset, so that all the customizations, whatever you have done, that will be removed at once. Suppose if you've created some 3 to 4 customized tabs, then at once you can go here, click on reset all customizations. Everything will be reset and it will go to the beginning, like how you have installed Excel. So to that stage it will go. Otherwise you can just use this ribbon. I'll say so. See, that tab is gone. Next is we saw something called as group. That is this group. Say for example, in home I have so many options. In this there is something called as font, which has been grouped so that this is related to font. And coming to this is alignment. Alignment means I'm trying to align, say right, left, or middle, whatever. So that will be grouped here. So likewise, depending on the actions, again it will be grouped. Fine. In these groups, I can see one small button here. This one. See, if I go, I'll move my cursor here. This is called as dialog box launcher. Dialog box launcher means, say, I have few options here, the frequently used options. Now when I click here, I'll get one window. A dialog box is opened. So this dialog box, what you see, it will have more options apart from the options what I see on the screen. So I can use these options now. Can you see this? See, it says font, and here also it says font. Fine. I have this alignment. I need more options. Click on this. See, we'll go to alignment. So this is called as dialog box launcher, which will help me in opening one more window which has got more options than what we see on the screen. To have this number, click on this number format. Here I'll go. Fine. Then what you see, all these are commands. See, these are all buttons. These command buttons, which I can use for doing some operations in my screen like this. Right. So we saw ribbon. Then ribbon is divided into different tabs, and then the tabs are divided into different groups, and groups will contain the commands. Next, we have something called as address bar and formula bar. What this address bar will do, let's understand. This address bar will show me the address of the cell what I've selected. See, for example, I'll go and I'll select this somewhere. It says Q4. See, it says Q4. Now let me go here and click somewhere here. It says P14. That means I'm in P14. Suppose if you want to move to a particular cell, instead of going here and keep scrolling up and down, I can go here and I can type directly. Let's say I want to go to A100. Just type A100. Enter. See, I'll go to A100 here. I want to go to Z25. See, Z25. See, I'll go to that cell. So address bar can be used for navigating with the address, or you can also get the address values here. There is one more use of this, that is, it is also called as name box. The reason why it is called name box, because I can create a name for a particular cell. So what is that? Say for example, I'll insert one more sheet. Here I'll type 100. Let this be sales. I'm just typing sales here and I'm saying enter. And here I'll type a range. I'll make a table and I'll name this. Enter. I named two things here. One is sales, other one is ITAs. Let me go to the sheet 1. Now I want to go and search where is that sales value. So there are some 10-15 sheets. It will become difficult for you to search. So instead, what I can do is, see, in this name box, there is one small arrow. Click on this. See, I'll click on the sales. It will take me to that cell. If you're named, let's say I'll go here. Suppose after here, I'll go here. I'll say ITSC. It will go to that particular range what I've created. So you can name the range so that it will be easy for me to navigate between the ranges as well. So that is why it is also called as name box or address bar. Fine. Next one, address this formula bar. Formula bar is actually used to either type some text, modify some text, or writing a formula. Well, let's assume that I am in this cell. I will type something. ITAS online class. Now, if you go and select this, I can see the text here. If you want to modify, evening 7 p.m. See, it will get modified here also. Or if you want to modify here only, I can double click or press F2 shortcut key. If I press F2, then I'll go to edit mode, and again I can edit here. See, whatever I edit here, that will get reflected there as well. Fine. This is one thing what I can do in formula bar. Also, I can read the formulas. Once you come to this formula chapter, I'll explain. But otherwise, this formula bar, suppose if the text gets extended, I can increase or decrease this. See, I can resize this like this. If you're not able to read any text, if it is too much, then you can drag it. Then I have one small arrow here. Just click on this. It will go back to the original size. Now again, if I click on this, it will come back to that size which you have resized. Now this resize, what will happen? See, when I click on this, the recent resize will be expanded. So for example, suppose if I have resized till here, now I'll say minimize it like this. And suppose if I click it again, see, the recent resized, say height, it will get resized. Let me click here. So this is formula bar. Next, this layout, the workspace. So this is the main thing what we have in Excel. So this is where I'll be creating my reports. I'll be storing my data or doing any formulas, so whatever. So this is the place where I'll be using. This is something like a page in a book. That is why it is called as sheet. I can create any number of sheets. There is no restriction that you have to, there is a limit for this, but you can create any number of sheets. So I'll go here, just keep on clicking here. I can create any number of sheets. It's nothing but, see, this file is actually called as a workbook in Excel. In that workbook, I'll have many sheets. I'll come to the sheets little later. Let's understand this workspace. This workspace, you can see that there are some lines. These lines are called as grid lines. These grid lines are actually used to separate the cells so that it will be easy for me to know on which cell I am in. These grid lines can be removed as well. I'll go here, say, I'll disable this. But still the cells will be available. Only the lines are removed. Suppose if you think I want it back, go to view and say grid line. Again, I'll get it back. I can change the grid line colors as well, but don't try that. It looks very awkward. But yes, you can change the grid line colors as well. Next, here I have one small triangle here that is actually used to select the entire sheet. If I click on this, entire sheet is selected. Otherwise also, Control A will help me in selecting the entire sheet. Then what you see here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and here I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are called as headers. Column header, row header. The column header will have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that is in alphabets. Row will have the numbers, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for that, we call this as column names and row numbers. These are column headers and these are row headers. So what you see vertical, that is column. What you see horizontal, that is row. I have this A, B, C, D. So what will happen after Z? Say once you reach Z, then what will happen is again it will continue with AA. So it goes on. So till where it will go on? Is there any limits for this? Are there any limits for the number of columns? Yes, there is a limit for rows and column. So what are those limits? Say, let's understand this column. Now suppose if you want to move from this cell to the end cell, the last cell, I can use this control and the right arrow like this. Say I'll just mention here control plus this arrow, what you see. Just press control and say right arrow. See, I'll go to the last cell. It says XFD. This is the last cell what I have. But how many columns are there? I have 16,384 columns. This is the maximum number of columns what I have. Suppose if you want to memorize it, okay, or you forgot, you don't have to bother because the numbers, sometimes you might get confused. We do this every now and then, every day, so it will be easy for us to remember. But for people, what will happen? It will be difficult to remember. How to remember this? I'll show you one easy way of remembering the number of columns, the maximum number of columns. There is a formula. Okay, just say equals and type column and say enter. So what this column will do is it will give me the column number, the existing. So where I'll write the current column number, it will give. Now what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll say equals column. See, 16,384. Automatically it will give. Wherever you go, I'll go here, I'll say equals column, open bracket, close bracket. See, it will give me the column number. Right. So we understood it is XFD is the last column name and 16,384 is the maximum number of columns what I can have. Right. Let me go here. Let's come to row. Row you don't have to bother. Control and the down arrow like this. Like this. See, control down arrow, it will take me to the last row. The maximum number of rows what I can have here is 10,48,576. So again, you don't have to remember. Whenever you feel that yes, I want, just go here and say 10,48,000. Oh, sorry, 10,48,576 is the maximum number of rows what we have. Let's go up. Next, what I'll do, I'll just type one table. Say Control D for copy down, Control R for copy right. Anyways, I'll be telling you this in the coming sessions, all the shortcut keys and all. Just now we'll understand few other things. I want to insert a column. Select this column, right click and say insert. There's a column which got inserted. We understood that there is a maximum number of columns, that is 16,384, but I inserted one more column, but people will think that it will become 16,385. It is not like that. I'll show you. See, if I go to this, it still says XFD, though we inserted one column here. Technically, no columns are inserted. So what will happen is the data, whatever is there, let me just remove this. When I insert the data, whatever you have, this will move towards your right hand side. Let's go here. I'll just put one text here. Just say I'll put one text in the last column, or let's put it in this column. Now let me try to insert one more column. Say right click and I'll say insert. One column got inserted. Now let me try to insert. See, it will not insert. The reason is when I inserted a column, I told you the data will move towards my right hand side. The data moved here. Now there are no other columns here where I can move my value to the next cell. So it will stop here. That means the data, what will happen is it will try to move towards right hand side where I'm trying to insert a column. Fine. When I delete, see, right click and say delete, the data will move towards my left hand side. And now if you go to the end and see the data was here, it moved here. Whenever you're not able to insert a column or a row, just go and check in the end whether there is some data. Suppose if you have any data in the end, you cannot insert the columns or rows. See, let me delete this. Data is moving like this. Same applies to your row also. See, select here and say insert. The data will move down. See, but when I go here down and see, it still says 10,48,576. Let me delete this. I can select both together and I'll say right click and say delete. See, the data will go upwards when I'm deleting. So this you should understand. Okay, people will think that if I insert a column or row, one row or one column will get inserted. It's not like that. It is just the data which will move. Right. Now let's go here to view. I have something called as headings. I was talking about A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go here, I'll click on this. Headings are gone. Suppose if you think that the headings are not visible, so you don't have to panic or say don't get afraid what happened to the headers. Just go to this view and click on this heading. I'll get it back. Sometimes I'll not have this formula bar and address bar. See, that is because of this. Headings gone, grid lines gone. See, it looks different. I just go to view and the formula bar. I'll get formula bar, headings and grid lines. Right. Next is I have the sheets. The sheets are nothing but I can have a different workspace like this. Let me delete this. I have only one sheet. Now if you want one more sheet, let me click on this. Just observe. It says sheet 6. There were sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5. I deleted them. Now I am having this sheet 6. Most of them will actually, especially the beginners, they'll get confused why there is no sheet 2. I got sheet 6. So what will happen, I'll tell you. When I'm inserting a sheet, there is a serial number it will be keep generating because every sheet should have a unique name. Now already 2, 3, 4, 5 is created. Now the next number, whatever is there, that will be created here. Let me go and create, see, 6, 7, 8. Let me delete these 3 sheets now. Now let me create, see, it's a sheet 9. That means the next number will come. So don't get confused when it is actually giving me these kind of numbers. It is going in serial number. For a new sheet, again, it will start from 1. See, for this sheet, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. But for this sheet, whatever is there, it will continue with that serial number. But you don't have to worry. You can rename that. Just go here, right click and say rename, or you can double click, you can rename it. So I can go here and I can rename it as sheet 2. No worries. But there should not be another sheet 2 here. See, if I go and try to rename this as sheet 2, it will not rename. Fine. Now, escape. I'll try to delete the sheet. Right click, delete. Now let me try to delete this sheet. I cannot delete. Keep in mind, for any workbook, for any Excel workbook, there should be one visible sheet. One visible sheet. That is what it says. A workbook must contain at least one visible worksheet. That means one sheet should be there. You have how many ever sheets? Now I can delete this because I have 2 more sheets here. Right. Next is hiding of the sheets. Let's say I'll go right click and say hide. Here I'll say hide. Now I have total 3 sheets. In that 2 sheets are hidden. 1 sheet is visible. Now let me try to delete this. Still I cannot delete this because as I told you, there should be one visible sheet. You have 100 sheets, 99 sheets are hidden and 1 sheet is visible. Still you cannot delete that sheet. The reason is it should have one visible sheet. Now if I go here, right click and say unhide, I can unhide. Now I can delete this because there is one more visible sheet here. Right. I can shade this sheet. Let me double click on this or say right click on this, tab color. I can give any colors here. Usually I'll give this red when I feel that the sheet is a critical sheet. That means it's a very important sheet, so that it indicates that it is very important. Or otherwise, let's say I have a group of sheets. Now let's go here. I'll make it as green color and I'll say green color and I'll say green color. So it indicates that these three speaks about similar kind of data. And again, I'll go here, I'll say red color. So these two will speak about similar kind of data. Like this, you can have some color codes. So you can color the sheets as well. Fine. Now let me just say Control N, which is for creating a new sheet. Say Control N. I got a sheet. I got new workbook where I got only one sheet. But what I want is in some Excel, when I say Control N, I'll get three sheets. If I say Control N in some sheet, in some Excel application, I get five sheets. How is this possible? So for me, I'm getting one. For some of them, it is getting three. For some of them, it is five. So don't worry. So you can adjust the default options. I'll go here, say File, Options. When I create, I have this general. Again, I'll show you File, Options. And if you go to this general, see here it says include these many sheets. Now let me change this to 5. Just say 5 and say okay, enough. Now let me create Control N. See, now I got 5 sheets. So when you think that I have a template where I create that should have this many number of sheets by default, then you can go to this file and say options, and you can change this, say general, and here I have this file. I'll make it as 1 now. Say okay. And now if I say Control N, see the next files whatever I'm creating, it will be 1. Right. Next, suppose I'll go here. See, I have some sheets here. If you are creating some templates or say dashboards, so what will happen is I need to hide these sheet tabs, not sheets, the sheet tab. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go to this file, options, and say advanced, and scroll down. When I scroll down, here I'll have something called as show sheet tabs. So what this will do, just disable this and say okay. See, the sheet tabs are hidden. The sheets will be still visible. The sheet tabs are hidden. Now let me go here, the options, advanced, scroll down. You scroll down, I'll get this sheet tabs. Select this and say okay. See, again I'll get that sheet tabs. Next, what we have here is the status bar. So what is the status bar? Status bar is nothing but, suppose, say I have some values here. I'll just select this. It will show me the status immediately. See, what is the total, the sum, what is the maximum value in this range, what is the number of counts, so what is the average. So I'll get the status here only. Also, I have this layouts here. This is for normal layout. Suppose if you want to go to this print preview, I can go here, say print layout. Just click on this. This will take me to the print layout. See here, page break preview. So these are different views which I'll tell you in the coming session when you come to this page layout and say view. But I'm just telling you what is there in the screen. If you're trying to learn the screen layout, I'm just telling you what all things are there. See, I'll click on this again. I'll come back to normal. Fine. We can see one bar here. This is called a zoom bar. Now I need to zoom this. Say for example, this looks very small. I want to zoom this. Just click on this. See, I can zoom this depending on the percentage here. Or I can hold control and you can use this mouse. That wheel is there. You can use that. Otherwise, you can use this bar. See, I can increase or decrease like this. Or click on this 100% here. You'll get one dialog box, and here you can type how much of percentage you need. I can customize it here as well. Let's say I want this to be 150. Click on this. It will zoom to 150. Right. So this is some basic things, or say basic things what I want to discuss in our session today. There are more things to discuss. So today just an introduction I've given with this Excel 365 whatever we have. There are so many new features which has been added. So all these new features of 365 along with that many advanced options, advanced reporting techniques I'll be discussing in the further classes.